A well-known translator once said this: "There are books that may be 70 or 80 years old, yet they still remain very young." This is truly the perfect sentence to describe the masterpiece, The Little Prince, a fairy tale for adults. It is also a book that has deeply moved and influenced me. Behind each fairy tale-like story it offers, we come to recognize the human nature and desires that exist within every adult in the world. And although it seems to be only a very thin book, written in simple language, it is in fact a soothing remedy for the soul of the whole world. After finishing The Little Prince, we come to understand that the deepest wisdom is often hidden within the purest soul. Let go of external things. The Little Prince lives on planet B, 612, a tiny planet with very few things on it. There are only 2 active volcanoes. Every day, he has to wake up early to clean the volcanoes and clear away the seeds of the baobab trees. These seeds always arrive together with the wind, and they are frightening because they have the power to grow with terrifying force. If they are not removed in time, his little planet will soon be destroyed by the wild growth of baobab trees. Although baobab trees can bring life to his empty planet, attract migratory birds, and block the scorching sunlight, he still clears them away regularly. In truth, our lives also contain many such baobab trees. Clothes that we wear only once or twice, yet they keep piling up in our wardrobes. Books we have never touched, stacked on dusty shelves. Discounted goods that we buy, but rarely use. Sometimes, we just pile them into some forgotten corner. In psychology, there is an effect called the Diderot effect. It shows that we are always likely to spend money on things we do not truly need. When you buy one new item, you tend to keep buying other things you think match it in order to achieve a sense of psychological balance. A simple example is when you buy a new outfit and do not realize that you also need a new pair of shoes or a handbag to match it. You buy a sofa set and suddenly feel that the whole arrangement of your living room no longer matches, so you have to change it too. In this age of material desire, we are constantly and unconsciously drawn into the trend of excessive consumption. Rarely do we think about simplifying, reducing, or removing. Instead, we always want to accumulate, upgrade, and create more material possessions. The author of the book The Life-Changing Magic of Minimalism, Akikawa Mayumi, once said, "To own one object means to spend part of your own energy on that object. It is just that we are rarely aware of this. Whether life is wonderful or not does not depend on how many things you have, but on how much time you have to make yourself happy. Like the human heart, day after day, it becomes covered by material desires. If we keep chasing after them endlessly, then perhaps without realizing it, we will miss the happiness already present in our lives. It may even make us become more tired, more exhausted, and more miserable. To find the true nature of life, we must let go of what is external and regularly clean away the baobab trees in our own lives." Let go of desire. Before arriving on Earth, the little prince traveled across 6 small planets and met 6 strange adults. The first adult he met was a king living on a planet where he alone was the ruler. The king issued strict decrees to subjects he had imagined for himself. Like a nail driven into place, he fixed himself on the throne, gripping his scepter in both hands, and did not move an inch all day. The little prince was frightened by this and hurriedly took his leave. Another adult he met was a peculiar businessman. Every day he counted, calculated, wrote receipts, and locked them in a drawer. The little prince was puzzled and did not know whom this businessman was working for. The businessman said he was counting the stars, and that the stars in the sky were the money he was depositing in the bank. He was immersed in his desire for wealth and could not free himself from it. For his whole life, he had been trapped behind his desk, living like a counting machine. Whether king or businessman, those adults are not very different from many of us, who are falling into a bottomless pit where the desires for status and money keep driving us to throw ourselves further in. Once we sink too deeply into that pit, a person can never feel satisfied. And is that not the greatest tragedy in each person's life? Once someone has too much desire, that person is destined to become a moth to the flame of desire, driven on and on by fame and wealth, galloping endlessly and never seeing the finish line. And in the end, all that remains is exhaustion, weariness, and no time left to be aware of or truly experience the things that already exist on the road we are walking. And the meaning of life is missed more and more. Let go of unworthy relationships. The little prince finally reaches Earth and lands in a deserted desert. For many days, he does not even see a single human being. He shouts into the lonely valley and hears only his own echo in return. To escape loneliness, he pours out his heart to anyone he meets, but the result is only disappointment. He gives his whole heart to the snake, but the snake cruelly wants to devour him. He warmly shares his past with the railway switchman, but the man ignores him. He meets the seller of thirst-quenching pills, but that man only wants to trick him into buying his product. In order to escape loneliness, the little prince tries his very best to become familiar with the people on Earth. But those cold and selfish people want only to profit for themselves. It is not until he meets the fox that things change. The fox invites him to the sand dunes to watch the sunset together. They share their thoughts and feelings with each other. The fox tells the little prince, "What is truly valuable cannot be seen with the eyes, but only with the heart." In the fox, the little prince feels sincerity and kindness for the first time. At that moment, the loneliness in his heart suddenly disappears. Have you ever fallen into the kind of meaningless socializing the little prince experienced? When I feel lonely, I want to find a friend to talk to, but after scrolling through my whole contact list, I quietly turn off the phone. When trouble comes, those old companions who once ate and laughed with us suddenly become strangers. As the years pass, we discover that the people who can truly be our friends are very few. Instead of blindly expanding our social network, it is better to narrow it down and save our energy for those who are truly worthy. The sincerity of 2 or 3 close friends is always 100,000 times better than the noisy company of ordinary acquaintances. Keep the heart pure. After saying goodbye to the fox, the little prince wanders on in exhaustion. The burning sun makes him miserable, and the wind and sand prevent him from opening his eyes. A few days later, he meets the pilot who has landed in the desert. Being stranded in the desert for 8 days has made the pilot extremely anxious. His mind is filled with all kinds of tragic thoughts. What if the engine cannot be repaired? Who will complete the mission? Flights are being delayed. Will there be enough water to last until tomorrow? There are still too many regrets in life. And when the water is almost gone, the pilot completely collapses and is overcome with fever. The little prince, on the other hand, is completely different. He does not worry at all. He goes looking for water, and along the way he gazes up at the star-filled sky and talks with the pilot about his marvelous journeys. In this relaxed conversation, he eventually discovers the source of water, and together they escape danger. In life, each of us is struck by two arrows. The first arrow comes from the outside world. These are the hardships and failures we often encounter. The second arrow is the one we shoot at ourselves. These are the negative emotions we create ourselves. That arrow is always ready to pierce us whenever our hearts are tangled and disturbed by negative thoughts. The psychologist Adler once said, "No one lives in an objective world. We all live in a subjective world in which everything has its own meaning. If you are calm, your world will be peaceful and clear. If you think too much, your world will be filled only with difficulties and dangers. In life, many times it is not someone else tormenting you. In truth, it is your own obsessions haunting you." The Little Prince is not only a satirical work mocking human society. More than that, it has always taught us how to build and maintain relationships between people and how to treat ourselves. At first, all of us are little princes, but little by little, as life becomes more complicated, we are bound by desire, fame, money, and status, until we ourselves become the king, the businessman, or the pilot. As the author said, all grown-ups were once children, although only a few of them remember it. When we truly understand this book, we realize that there is never any truly complicated situation in life. There is only a complicated mind. It is very easy to go from simplicity to complexity, but to strip away complexity and return to simplicity is always difficult. That process requires both discipline and awareness within you, but only when you remind yourself to let go of material things, desires, and unnecessary thoughts can you forge your true self. If you found this video helpful, please support XYZ Library with a like, share it with those who need it, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications so you can receive the next videos. I wish all of us can clear away the chaos and live simply. Let us disperse the fog of materialism, desire, and indifference, and embrace the little prince within ourselves.